It began with the rivers of blood in 1966. Thousands of Biafran men, women and children, professionals, traders, students and families who had built lives across the Federation became targets in the northern city, fueled by ethnic hatred and religious hostility. Mobs descended upon innocent civilians. They were slaughtered in their homes, in crowded markets, and aboard trains carrying desperate families back to the east. Streets were littered with bodies, rivers choked with corpses. Survivors returned to the east carrying trauma, grief, and the painful realization that they were no longer wanted in the Nigerian Union. Biafra, Biafra, voice of truth and freedom. Biafra, Biafra, the rising sun will rise again. Then came May 30th, 1967. A desperate act of survival. What followed were 30 months of unimaginable devastation. The Nigerian military, armed and backed by foreign powers, including Britain, Russia and Egypt, surrounded the young republic. A total blockade was imposed. No food, no medicine, no escape. Starvation became a weapon of war. 5 million, mostly civilians, many of them children, perished during what was not just a conflict but genocide against Biafra. Bombs fell on markets, hospitals and villages. Communities were razed. The world watched in silence while famine hollowed the faces of innocent children. Some nations spoke out, but many turned away. The war officially ended in paper in 1970 under the declaration, no victor, no vanquished. Yet for Biafrans, the suffering did not end. Their properties were confiscated, courage destroyed. Biafrans were given only £20 regardless of how much they had. Entire families struggled to rebuild shattered lives. The promise of reintegration faded into disappointment. Marginalization deepened in Nigerian government appointments. Infrastructure and control of resources from Biafran land. Oil flowing from the Biafra land enriched the center, while much of the east remained neglected. Roads deteriorated, industries collapsed. Biafra, Biafra, voice of truth and freedom. The rising sun will rise again. The nightmare did not disappear, rather it evolved. Across Nigeria today, violence and insecurity continue to devastate communities. Armed attacks by Fulani herdsmen, terrorists, have left villages destroyed, farmers killed, women violated, children orphaned and churches burned. Boko Haram and its offshoots have unleashed terror across multiple regions in the southeast. Demands for Biafra and self-determination are often met with military crackdowns, arrests and bloodshed. Protesters have been killed, fear and tension continue to rise. These tragedies reflect the deadly consequences of forcing vastly different peoples into one political structure. Through the 1914 British amalgamation, distinct ethnic nations, religion, traditions, ideologies, and systems of governance were merged without consent and without a shared national vision. The North feudal and religious conservatism can never blend with the South's entrepreneurial drive. And the East Republican individualism attempts to hold the Union together continue to be at the cost of innocent blood. Why does Biafra matter?
Biafra means self-determination.
Biafra represents dignity, survival, and the right of a people to life and choose their future.
Biafra
symbolizes resistance, innovation, enterprise, and hope. The vision focused development, protection of its citizens, and economic engagement with the world of future free. perpetual conflict. The solution is not endless political conferences, military force or federal quota system, but a peaceful separation based on shared values and voluntary association. History shows that artificial unions often fracture violently, while honest separation can allow wounded nations to recover.
Biafra is not dead, Biafra lives.
It lives because the desire for freedom cannot be extinguished. Nigeria's ongoing crisis, corruption, insecurity, poverty, and division are proof that one structure cannot hold people with dangerous diversities together. For the million already lost, for the children yet unborn.
Biafra,
Biafra independence is non-negotiable. Let Africa remember that true unity cannot be sustained by force. The world must listen before more lives are lost.
Biafra,
Biafra live, freedom calls. God bless Biafra. God bless the land of the rising sun. God bless Biafra Republic, government in exile, led by Prime Minister His Excellency Okechukwu, for standing tall in the pursuit of Biafra independence.
Biafra, Biafra.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, good evening, good night, Biafrans, wonderful people, and lovers of freedom. God bless Biafra. God bless Biafran Republic government in exile. God bless the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. God bless all the cabinet members of Brgie. Every one of you that is actively involved at this particular stage, at this particular time of Biafran restoration. I appreciate every one of the cabinet members, men and women of goodwill. I want to appreciate all those who have contributed immensely in one way or the other for Biafra restoration. Our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu, we appreciate his immense contributions. Our eternal leader, Philip Effiong, we also appreciate their contributions. Okokondem and each and everyone, Achuzie, Obosi, and all these Biafran soldiers who actively, they kept the hope alive. They fought for Biafra, they defended Biafra, they protected Biafra, and they made sure that Biafra is still very much alive until we are here. So I appreciate every one of them. I also appreciate Uwazurike. In 1999, at least Uwazurike did a lot. He did his best. Though his best was not good enough, but we can give it to him. That after the Biafran war, every Biafran territory, The no victor, no vanquished mantra was just things that were just said by just the mouth. But in reality, the Nigerian government, in conjunction with the British government, they harassed, they intimidated our people, not to even talk about Biafra, not to even talk about the war. So I appreciate Wazirike in 1999. Wazirike came on board and also contributed his own quota. He made us to, talk about Biafra once again, people to remember the memories of the past and the need for, for everybody to, come together and start, once again to fight or to speak about what we believe in, because we all believe in Biafra. Though Wazirike's good was not enough, he fell on the wayside. Wazirike fell on the wayside because of what Nigeria is all about. They came through intimidation and harassment, and using their military against civilians, unarmed civilians, against MASOP members, and using some Efulefus from the southeast. They cajoled Wazirike into surrendering. So Wazirike eventually surrendered to them, and the MASOP died. MASOP just died like that. So, but because Wazirike did not make so much impact, we cannot say that he didn't contribute. He didn't actively participate for Biafra. So we give it to him. We appreciate him for his, the contribution that he made during the time that he was spearheading Biafra under MASOP. And after Wazirike, we give it to our leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Under IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU created a huge awareness for Biafra in 2015 when he came back from the United Kingdom. Even before that, he started visiting communities in Biafran land. He visited Ogoni and all these communities that during the war, because of the Nigerian government, harassment and intimidation and their policy to criminalize anything about Igbo and Biafra, the communities that denied during the war that they are not Biafrans, MAZI NNAMDI KANU now had to visit most of their elders, visit most of those communities in order to make them to understand that we are one people. And also use this Radio Biafra to create a lot of awareness. So we appreciate our leader MAZI NNAMDI KANU as well. He did so much well. The only problem that our leaders, IPOB had was that a lot of people who joined MAZI NNAMDI KANU at that time don't actually understand what they were in for. A lot of them saw it as an opportunity to make money for themselves. Okay, a lot of them saw it as an opportunity to be in position. Most of them did not offer anything. They couldn't bring any change. They couldn't bring anything to the table. But MAZI NNAMDI KANU was the only person that was, knows what he wants. But unfortunately, the people that were surrounding him never have the same mindset with MAZI NNAMDI KANU. But we are giving up for MAZI NNAMDI KANU for doing wonderfully well. Even as he's out to now, MAZI NNAMDI KANU is still actively involved, but Physically, he's incapacitated in dungeon, Sokoto. So we appreciate him, his commitment, his sacrifices up to this moment. Then we give it to Obatobie. Obatobie, Mazi Simon Ekwanjoku. Mazi Simon Ekwanjoku, the Obatobie of Biafra, the former prime minister, came on board as well and contributed immensely. He contributed a lot to the new dimension that Brgie is, because under Biafran government it's a new dimension. Under Nigeria, under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it was a group dimension. We were under group, carrying flag up and down. Now I wearing Kwarakefi. My father said, now wearing Kwarakefi. Under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB now wearing Kwarakefi. You see them carrying flag running up and down from Jerusalem to Jericho. Oh my God, Well, they have a very good, do I say, how am I going to put it? They may have a plan. One of their plans is to carry flag and be running up and down and shouting, Madike one, shouting Mazin and the Kanu is another savior and all the rest of them. But behind the plan, they didn't have the template for Biafra. Those who were supporting Mazin and the Kanu, who took up positions in the hierarchy of IPOB, they didn't have anything to bring to the table. Okay? They didn't have any plan. They didn't have any template for Biafra. So that is why if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is stuck, they were stuck as well. Okay? That was why they could not make any headway. The only thing they know how to do best is to go all over the world and start protesting. They could not even contribute money that was needed for the freedom at that time. They were so much concerned about having positions all over Africa, all over Europe, all over Asia and America, where Biafrans will donate money to them and they use it for whatever they wanted. So when Mazi Simon Ekpa came on board, Mazi Simon Ekpa now saw that these people these people are a bunch of touts. That was why Nigerian government called them miscreant. When Nigerian government will call them IPOB miscreant, people do not know what Nigerian government saw before they could call them miscreant. You know what miscreant? I will look up that word in dictionary. People, I think it must mean people who don't have focus or people who are jobless, who don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. It's not a laughing matter anyway, but when you begin to reevaluate, when you begin to go deep and think about what has happened in this course of our freedom, you see that a lot really happened. A lot really happened under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. People were jumping up and down, carrying flag here and there. Only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows what he wanted, but the rest who were following him don't actually understand. They don't know the destination that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was heading into. And that was why when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came on one of the broadcasts in Radio Biafra, he was talking about 100 men. And he was being asked a question, which kind of men are you looking for? He said men who are pure at heart, men who are committed, men who can contribute anything, who can sacrifice anything for Biafra. And upon the years that he has been agitating for Biafra, all those men that are carrying flag with him and shouting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu this, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that they are DOS, this, DOS, that. These people do not merit the 100 men self. Oh my God. So it was really surprising that the people that were, every day they are calling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You follow him to America, they follow him to UK, they follow him to Germany, they follow him to France. Anywhere that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was going, They are going to organize, meetings and all the rest of them. And that is where their freedom ends. In beer parlor and in restaurants, at the end of the day, onye ọbụla ga-ata mkpọbi ṅụọ mmanya chọọchị agbasa. Okay? That was why among them, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not find those who were able to follow him to Biafra, who were able to follow him consistently in the template that he had for Biafran restoration. So, after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in 2021, came Mazi Simon Ekwanjok, who knew what it tells for Biafran freedom. Mazi Simon Ekpan now took it to the next stage, which is new dimension. A new dimension whereby we now graduated. Every other group that was fighting for Biafra was now collapsed into the Biafran government in exile. And the Biafran government in exile was now reactivated, redesigned, refashioned, and injected people. A new blood, a new breed of Biafrans now came on board. These are the people who have the mindset of Biafra. These are the people who can sacrifice everything for Biafra. These are the people who can contribute. These are the people who can give it their all. So the reactivation of Biafran government in exile ushered in a new set of Biafrans who have a different mindset outside IPOB mindset altogether. So, in the coming of Biafran Republic government in exile was the best thing that happened in Biafran restoration project. So we thank Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We also thank our former Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekwanjoko. And here we are under the Prime Ministership of His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere. Biafra Restoration Project is now very, very much visible. Okay? Biafran Restoration Project, Biafrans can now beat their chest and said yes, that we are getting close to our freedom. If we are getting close to our freedom, then who is making that freedom? Who is, actively involved to make sure that that freedom you are talking about is visible? Okay? Who is making this freedom that we are talking about? Who is actively involved to make sure that the freedom of Biafrans is coming? It is the Biafra Republic government in exile. Under Biafran Republic government in exile, the Biafran people now have a voice. Under BRGIE, the Biafran people's plight can now be looked into. It can now be discussed in Washington, D.C. Unlike previously, during the time of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Wazirike and all the rest of them, they were only hoping on petitions upon petitions upon petition. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will write United Nations petition, European Union petition, African Union petition, and all other agencies and governmental parastatals all over the world. And when you write these petitions against Nigeria, Nigeria have lobbyists everywhere. Nigeria also have their spies in IPOB. So after writing these petitions, they will still use the same people that are agitating for Biafra to go and steal out these petitions so that the world will not actually listen to the petition that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB was writing. And Nigerian government started positioning Nigerian government started positioning people in different countries, in different bodies, in different organizations of authority to make sure that the voices of Biafrans are silenced, to make sure that those petitions can never get to the authorities that those petitions were designed to go to. Take, for instance, in the United Kingdom, you can imagine MAZI and the KANU writing a petition against UK and sending it to the European Union, who is under the control of France and under the control of UK. Do you think that that petition will get to them? It will not. So under MAZI and the KANUs, we are writing a lot of petitions and protests and petition and all the rest of them. No result was coming from that petition. No result actually was coming from that petition. Rather, what were we witnessing in Nigeria? A lot of killings. Nigerian government tightened their grip on IPOB. Nigerian government rolled out their armories against the people of Biafra. Nigerian government rolled out their arms against the youths of the southeast. They killed a lot of the youths. A lot of them were kidnapped. A lot were harassed. A lot of Biafrans have been intimidated. Some have disappeared. Because during the time that MAZI and the KANU was writing petition, the United Kingdom was busy blanketing the media against the atrocities that the Nigerian government was committing in our land. The United Kingdom never wanted America to know about it. They never wanted the world to know about it. And while they were busy preventing the world from knowing what is happening in Biafra land, Nigerian government rolled out their army against Biafrans at Obibo. In 2020, they rolled out their army against Biafrans at Emene. They rolled out their army against Biafrans at Onitsha, at Aba, at Umuahia. Name it. Every Biafran state that IPOB comes out to protest, the Nigerian government will roll their army and kill thousands and kill tens, 20s, and hundreds. And all those killings never made headlines. All those killings, the world never knew about it. Because the British were very busy blanketing the media, covering every atrocity that the Nigerian government was committing in Biafra land. Nobody knows about it. So, but when the Biafran government in exile came on board, there is a new wave. There came a new method for agitation for Biafra. We redefined the mode of operations in the agitation for Biafra. Then now the introduction of the sit at home, then the fortification of the Biafran Liberation Army after it was unveiled. The armed group that were fighting for Biafra were now brought together so that they will fight for one common cause. So when now we got into the government, this is where the game have changed. And now Biafrans can now see the positive impact the Biafran Republic government in exile have made since 2023 that it was unveiled in Helsinki, Finland. So going forward since 2023, the Biafran government in exile have been very much active in political engagement in Washington, D.C. In 2024, we hired the lobbyist, MAZI Elias, to beef up the lobbying effort in Washington, D.C. We also hired the services of Amanda Biri as a legal advisor to BRGIE and legal representative and attorney to the government. So since the Biafra Republic Biafra Republic government in exile came on board, there have been a new wave of Biafra awareness on the international scene. We are no longer seeing and hearing about, oh, it is about one person. This is the leader. It is now about government. It is now about Biafran government. And the Biafran government in exile is doing the needful more than what is expected of it. Our lobbyist, MAZI Elias, just like he promised to the Biafran people that they are going to be our voice in Washington, D.C., Elias knows his way out in Washington, D.C., and have always gotten political engagement and, having meetings with our government in exile, with the American government, all for the betterment of the Biafran people. And when you go to the news, to the mainstream media, Nigerian newspapers and Nigerian news media, you only hear about the activities of Biafran Republic government in exile. This is a proof that the only party, the only part, the only government that is known, the only agency, the only organ that America can recognize, America have recognized, America are speaking with, America knows, registered under State Department, that it's representing an agitating nation. The only organ, the only agency is the Biafra Republic government in exile, which means no other body. America do not recognize IPOB. America did not recognize Ndem Urumiri Ngozi. Neither is he recognizing Imam Mahmoud. America is not recognizing the rising sun. Okay? Or is he recognizing the avid? No. Because all these things are groups. You don't expect Michael Rubio. You don't expect Mike Johnson. You don't expect Mike Johnson. You don't expect Ted Cruz. Of course, Ted Cruz can meet individuals, can meet groups on his capacity as Ted Cruz. But on the governmental level representation of American government, Ted Cruz cannot sit down with a group to talk about the agitation of a nation, where we have a government in exile that is representing the Biafran people. So every action, every great result that has come out in relation to Biafran restoration was as a result of the diplomatic engagement in Washington, D.C. by the Biafran Republic government in exile under the leadership of His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere. And I want to use this opportunity to ask every one of you who have been seeing these good results. Are you not proud of BRGIE? Are you not proud of Ogechukwu Nkere? Are you not proud of MAZI Elias for this wonderful achievement that is happening in Washington, D.C. because of Biafra? Because the last time I checked, every other group have not shown their report card. They have not been able to show any one of you what they have done since 2021 that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya. No other group have been able to present their score sheet since 2024 when MAZI Simon Ekpa, November 18th, When Mazi Simon Ekpanjoku was detained and up to today he has not come out. Ngozi have not shown us her report card. Neither is Ima. Neither has a what is his name again? Neither has Avid or the Rising Sun. None of them, none of these groups has given us any report card, any report sheet of their actions and activities. So if you belong to all these groups that I'm calling, you are following Ngozi and you have nothing to present. You are following Emma and you have nothing to show. You are supporting Avid. Of course, what Avid can do is to give money to the lawyers and the Rising Sun. But in the government circles of America, America do not recognize you as a group fighting for Biafran restoration. It means that whatever money you are contributing to them is not actually going to Biafran restoration project. And that is the reason why I want you to understand that it is the Biafra Republic government in Israel is the only party, is the only part to Biafra restoration project. If you have not been supporting, this is the time to actively participate. Now that you can see, you have seen what the Biafran government in Israel is doing. Very, very, very important. Because if it is not for Biafran Republic government in Israel, by now it will have been everybody pack your bag and baggages and go and stay and accept one Nigeria. Yes, and accept whatever Nigeria is going to offer in our land. Since time immemorial, we have been under the, slavery. Under Nigeria have enslaved our people. Nigeria have continued to intimidate and harass us even in our land. And nobody had the balls, nobody had the audacity to confront Nigerian government atrocities in our land. Only MAZI NNAMDI when he come on board and he challenged the status quo, and that is why he's paying the price today. And everybody that have come out to challenge the Nigerian government atrocities in our land Nigerian government have always devised a means of trying to silence everyone. Recently, what they are now engaging upon is seeing how they can silence our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere in Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C. So why Nigeria is boiling, it doesn't concern Nigerians. It doesn't concern the leaders that you have in Nigeria. What concerns them is how they are going to silence Biafrans who want to be free out of Nigeria. Okay? Why the terrorists whom the Nigerian government are supporting, are financing, are encouraging, why they are killing, why they are kidnapping, why they are displacing communities. Why they are displacing communities. The Nigerian government is in Washington, D.C., focusing how they are going to lobby America in order to silence Ogechukwu Nkere, in order to silence the Biafran government in exile. Are they going to succeed? The answer is no. They can never succeed because Biafra is an ordained project and Ogechukwu Nkere is a citizen of America. There is no way, no matter what they do, Trump cannot allow that to happen. Trump believes in the rule of law. Trump believes in equity. Trump believes that Nigeria should be disintegrated. He doesn't need to tell anybody. And the government that Trump now understands very much to be fighting for that disintegration is the Biafran Republic government in exile. Not Ngozi for Ngozi psychiatric hospital children. Or Imam Mahmoud, how many times have you come and seen Imam Madabo talking about Biafra? Ngozi, the only thing Ngozi is good at doing is deceiving people who are following him. As far as you are a psychiatric patient, you behave like the person who is treating you. Ngozi is using their head. People who are following Ngozi, in fact, I don't know where these people, in fact, all of them should be Fulani. Because Ngozi is a Fulani woman. I don't understand how can somebody can tell you that last year that he has already paid for a company or an airline that is going to take you back home. And throughout last year, the airline did not operate. Hi! Ngozi egbuo ndị mmadụ. Throughout last year, the airline, the company did not operate. And those fallback, those, what do you call it? Those psychiatric children of Ngozi, they did not ask her question. Madam, I think you say we go home now, and you go be our our president in Biafra. And as we are in a country, what are you still doing in Georgia, America? They did not ask her that question. They did not. Ngozi introduced whistle to them. That whistle will make, once you blow whistle, the Fulanis will disappear. Till today, where is the whistle? Ngozi, where is your whistle? Ngozi told them that she has harmonized the defense forces and they are under her control. Ngozi have continued to deceive these people. Yet, many of them are still tied in her wrapper. They cannot move. People like this Olive Ozo, they are tied to the wrapper of Ngozi Orabufulani. Their brain will go. They cannot move because they cannot reason on their own. They cannot reason on their own. And because of their envy and jealousy, they cannot come to the government that is actively government ama ihe ọ na-eme na Washington DC. And if we had Brgie na-eme, if we had Brgie ga-eme, ọwụ mmadụ ga-agwa gị na ọwụ mmadụ ga-agwa gị.
Voice of the East, hey! Forever shining bright. Voice of the
So yesterday, the Biafra Republic government in Ezra had two wonderful gentlemen who came on the platform of Biafra Republic government in Ezra, Voice of Biafran TV, to talk to Biafrans. Okay? In fact, I'm so happy that I'm part of this government too. It's very, very important. I am so happy and elated that I will be found worthy that yes, esom na ndị mere ka Biafra wee bịa. Ọgọdị na ego mmadụ na supporturu m, esom na ndị supporturu Biafran Restoration Project. Because it is very, very important that Ginwa, no family in Biafra land did not lose a soul between 1967 to 1970. And after losing somebody in your family, you have an opportunity. You have opportunity of making sure that those who died during the war, that they are resting in peace. The only way they can rest in peace is for us to have Biafra, for us to be able to succeed in restoring that nation, that country that they lost their life for. And you see that there is a government that is actively involved in doing that. You see that it's a government that the American government recognizes to be fighting for this freedom. Yet, ihapuru ishi gwawari kaju. You see that the government of Biafra, is working for Biafran restoration. American government has appreciated their effort. American government know what we are doing. American cabinet policy makers, American representatives They are speaking with cabinet members of Brgie, American congressmen and women. They are talking with our prime minister. You see all these things, the news carry it. Yet, you don't want to appreciate what Brigi is doing. It's because you are evil. It is because you are evil person. And it is because you don't want Biafra. Or either because you are a Fulani who want to answer Igbo name, but in the other way around, you are fighting against Biafra. That is the only thing that will prevent somebody who say he wants Biafra and he sees that Biafra is very close. He sees the government that is bringing Biafra very close, and that person cannot support. Something should be wrong somewhere, because Biafra is Biafra. It doesn't matter who is bringing it. And but at this particular time, the person that you know, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, is incapacitated. The former prime minister that you know is also incapacitated. Are we going to fold our hands and wait for them to come out before we can fight? That is common sense. But we cannot fold our hands because Biafra is our own. It is everybody's responsibility. And when we are running a race, anywhere that you reach and you are tired, people have to come. It's just like a battle when you are running a race of battle. If you get to a point and you are tired, you hand in your baton, somebody else will use it and continue the race. This is actually what is happening in Biafran Restoration Project. Until you run to the finishing line, Odumegwu Ojukwu handed over. They could not make it. Wazirike took it up. Wazirike could not make it. MAZI NNAMDI KANU was handed it over. MAZI NNAMDI KANU got to 2021 and had a blockade on the way. He has to hand it over to MAZI Simon Ekpa Njoku. And in 2024, MAZI Simon Ekpa Njoku had a blockade. And Ogechukwu Nkere now felt the responsibility is in his hand. He is the final destination to that battle. And he is taking it to the seat of power in Washington, D.C. to make sure that those issues that Ojukwu, Wazirike, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, Simon Ekpa Njoku, and the totality of the Biafran people are clamoring for, those issues have been packeted. They have been packaged and is given to Washington, D.C. and opening the chapters for them one after the other to go through it. And after America might have gone through it, they are going to sign, they are going to approve, and then Biafra will be restored. So two gentlemen came on the Voice of Biafran TV to speak to Biafrans about Biafra. And I want you to listen to what they have to say. Because Biafra is here. If you don't know that Biafra is here, then you don't have the spirit of Biafra in you. This is our information minister yesterday. I want you to listen to the little interview our information minister had with the two gentlemen, the COS, Mazi Amobi and Mighty Dot, who spoke on the Voice of Biafra.
Welcome to Voice of Biafra Television. Today is Politics Insight, and I will be joined by some of our honorable colleagues from America. Invite everyone and tell them to come and join you on Politics Insight on Voice of Biafra Television. You can watch Voice of Biafra Television from your satellite television all over Africa on air. Just get a satellite dish and then get a decoder. Follow the signal instruction underneath the screen, and you can be able to track and hook up to Voice of Biafra Television. We're also live and direct on YouTube channels, Voice of Biafra TV, VOB. We're also live on Facebook, Voice of Biafra Television, VOB.
Please, opportunity is here. I sent a link for anybody who wants to join me on the studio. Let us discuss as well. If you feel that there is a question you want to ask, or there is a question you need to be answered, you have a question, ask it, and you need some answer, we are going to give you answer. You see, in Biafra Republic Government in Exile platforms, we don't shy away from questions and answers. If there are things that you need clarification, if there are things that are bothering you, either about our government, about our modus operandi, and how to support, you ask your question. Don't stay on the comment section and start constituting nuisance. Hmm? Why are you on the comment section and start constituting nuisance? Join me on the studio. Join me on the studio and make your contribution. Very important. If you want to have a conversation, civil conversation, there is something that you want to know, you join me on the studio. Click the link, join me on the studio. Let us talk. You can't stay on the comment section and start ranting, start talking rubbish. No. Under Biafran Republic Government, we are here to educate Biafrans. Ikwa maro, ibe ezia. That is what we, MAZI and the KANU, there is a saying that he who wants to go to equity, you must go with clean hands. Okay? We are here to preach the gospel of Biafra with every truth and honesty. You know, the reason why we have been consistent is because we are on the path of truth. Everybody who have attacked the government in exile, everybody who tried to bring us down has been the one who has fallen. Because he who is not carrying anything, you don't have anything to destroy. You don't have anything to scatter. As long as you are not carrying anything, nothing is going to be destroyed by you. So, but those of them who want us to get destroyed, those who are fighting against us, our hands are clean, our hearts are pure. We are only focused on Biafran restoration. These are the people who are failures and they will continue to fail. So in our platforms, if you have any question, you ask. I'm going to respond to you. If it is beyond me, I will direct you to the government. And our government is always there to respond to questions, to respond to issues. Biafrans, learn to ask questions. If you don't understand, ask questions. People who are leading you, people who you are following, people who you are contributing your money to. Ask Ngozi, the money that we donate, what are you using it for? Ask Emma, the money that you are donating, what are you using it for? Under Biafran Republic government in exile, do I need to tell you what we are using the money for? We are paying our lobbyists. Are you not aware about that? We are also paying our attorney. Are you not aware about that? What about the Biafran Defense Forces when you see them kitted? You saw 2 days ago the unveiling of the Biafran Defense Intelligence Agency, and another agency that is needed at this critical time of our restoration. All those things cost money. Okay, so you go to our website www.biafranrepublicgovernment.org. You can see what the government of Biafra is doing, what Ogechukwu Nkere is doing. It is not about David is telling you. You can go there and find out for yourselves. Simple. Simple. So I want you to sit back and listen to this gentleman under Biafran Republic government in exile, for you to know that we are actively involved in Biafran restoration. There are men and women who are, committed in every aspect. Whatever they are doing, they are committed for our freedom. And they will be coming from now and then to the Biafran Voice of TV to speak to you, Biafrans. I want you to listen to our COS as well as Mighty Dot as they air their mind, as they bear their mind on Voice of Biafran TV, speaking to you. You need to listen and learn, and you need to support so that we will be free out of Nigeria. The freedom of Biafra is going to bring a lot of positivity in Africa in general. Very, very important. I want you to listen.
We are also live on Twitter X, Voice of Biafra Television, VOB, and all other affiliated social media platforms of the Biafran media. You're welcome to Voice of Biafra Television, and it is live on Politics Insight.
Truth we hold am high, oh, under sun and under sky, this be our day, this be our song, where we belong, where we belong,
We will be starting our program tonight as I welcome my guest, and I'll be anchoring here on Voice of Biafra Television. If you haven't joined us before, this is Voice of Biafra Television, the voice of the voiceless, voice of truth, voice of justice, and voice that speak for the oppressed. With me in the studio today are my guests joining Voice of Biafra all the way from America. Honorable Amobi, welcome to Voice of Biafra Television. Good to have you here. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Welcome on board. And on the other end, I have another Honorable Mighty Dot. Good to have you joining us from South Carolina. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
This gentleman that you see on the studio, Honorable Amobiene, the COS to the Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, and the Mighty Dot. Mighty Dot. These gentlemen are actively involved, supporting the Biafran government in exile, financially, morally, and otherwise. They are in diaspora. These people are in diaspora. They have their families. They have their businesses. They can relax and enjoy their lives. They can relax and forget about those in the homeland. They can relax and enjoy United States of America where they are residing and living large. But these people understand the situation of Biafra. They understand what Nigerian government is doing to our people back home. These people are living in a country where the rule of law is respected. These people are living in a country where their economy is good, where there is sanctity of life, okay, where the amenities, the government make provisions for them, even as they are immigrant, as they are, not indigenous to America. The government have made provision and given them everything that they need. Look at how they are looking. They are looking very fine, wealthy, but then they remember that their people in the homeland are suffering. They remember that we have our natural resources in our land. And these natural resources, when it is harnessed under Biafra, is going to be beneficial for everybody in Biafra land. They are using the resources that they are working day and night. They work their ass off on a daily basis. And they come on Saturday, Sunday, on other days to support the Biafran government in exile to make sure that those of us in the homeland, that we are free. A lot of you are in the homeland. You make money in the homeland. Even in the homeland, there is harassment, intimidation, suppression, and the government of Nigeria is doing everything to make sure that your voice is not heard. That money that you are making in the homeland, you cannot even bring even 1% to support the activities that people like Mighty Dot and NNAMDI are doing to make sure that you are free. Because the freedom that they are supporting, it is not about them. It is about those of you in the homeland. But many people in the homeland who are directly involved with the atrocity of the Nigerian state are not even supporting the actions that are geared towards freeing them out of this evil Nigeria. You see, this is what we are talking about. There are people in diaspora who they don't have anything to lose, that are actively involved in supporting, funding their freedom. But you in the homeland that is directly affected, you prefer Nkwobi, you prefer Ishiewu. You don't want your own to go. You don't want to spend it so that you can be free. You think about your stomach. You think about women. You think about properties, buying properties, building houses here and there. Houses that Nigerian government can demolish at any fucking time. But there are people who are in America living very large, living big, comfortably. But they are remembering what you are passing through in the homeland. But you that is in the homeland, that is passing through all this thick and thin, you are not supporting the freedom that people in the diaspora are fighting to free you. It's very, very unfortunate. So I want you to listen to what this gentleman has to say about Biafra and about this restoration. Very important.
Oh, my brother. MAZI.
Thank you so much.
The COS.
Yes, you're welcome, Mighty Dot.
Yes, we are in the show. And if you've not been told, this is Voice of Biafra Television Politics Insight. I have two wonderful men in the house, and they are here to discuss about Biafra and the way forward. Honorable Amobi, what can you say to Biafran people as you appear on Voice of Biafra Television for the very first time?
First of all, I want to appreciate you once again for having me on VOB, Voice of Biafra, the voice of truth. And my dear brother, Mighty Dot, it's good to be in the studio with you at this time. And to Biafrans and all friends and lovers of freedom who are watching us all over the world, I want to appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and joining us in VOB today. It is political insight, and we'll be discussing Biafran issues and everything that concerns our freedom and how best we can move our freedom forward. Thank you so much, Mazi Sani.
Thank you so much, Honorable Amobi. And Honorable Mighty Dot, this is your first time on Voice of Biafra television. What do you have to say to Biafrans?
Yes, once again, I greet you, the Information Minister and my COS. It is an honor to be in your midst this evening to discuss the pressing issue, the most important issue in our life today as Biafrans, because as Biafrans, as true Biafrans, one of the things that is so paramount in our life, in our existence today, the most important thing, I speak for myself, is the restoration of Biafra, because that is what will give me a sense of belonging as a human being on this planet of Earth. Because right now I do not belong anywhere. I feel like I am an orphan, homeless. So we are here on this Voice of Biafra for the first time today to be able to speak to our people.
Hear what Mighty Dot said. Mighty Dot is telling you he is in diaspora. He is in diaspora, very comfortable where he is living in diaspora. But he's saying that one of the greatest important thing that he needs in life at this time, one of the things that is lacking is the restoration of Biafra. That he feels like he's an orphan. This is somebody who is in diaspora, making money for himself and the family. But he's looking back home, remembering that our people, a lot of people are in bondage of one Nigeria because of Biafra. A lot of people are in a situation whereby they cannot feed themselves. 3 square meals they cannot put before the table. A lot of families cannot even train their children in school. A lot of people cannot go to school. They now force them into doing boy and all the rest of all these things are applicable in Biafra land. A lot of things are happening. This is as a result of the Nigerian government policies against our people. But somebody who is in diaspora, who America have provided everything, every amenity, everything, is now telling you that one of the things that is paramount to him is the restoration of Biafra. But yet, you that is in Biafra land, you don't know that that should be your utmost concern. And if it is your utmost concern, you must do everything to support whatever is being done by the Biafran government in exile to fight and restore that freedom and restore that nation and restore our dignity and restore our land.
And share information with our people and let our people know why we are here and why we are doing what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mighty Dot. And I welcome you to Voice of Biafra television.
Thank you.
So, 30th of May has just finished. As 30th of May just finished, Biafrans jubilated all over the world. And we saw their resonance from the east to the west and from the north to the south. What was the significance of the day? Before we go into the post 30th of May, What was the significance of the 30th of May? Because many people are curious to know. Honorable COS, the mic is yours, sir.
Yes. To be honest, I've always thought about this since after 30th of May. I kept asking myself, do my people really realize that memorial is the starting line of everything that they sacrificed is the Memorial Day. So you start and you finish. The finishing is you continuing to make sure that they get that for. You know, their sacrifice will be in vain if it is only a memorial. So memorial is just a starting line. It is the beginning of it all. You remember, and then you stand on the remembrance, the pain that you feel for the fallen heroes, and then you continue to the finishing line, which is our freedom. So when we talk about 30th of May, it is just a reminder of the pain that our people passed through. But the finish line is the continuation of the fight that they already started. Thank you so much, MAZI Sonny.
Thank you so much, Honorable Amobi. That is very concise. Honorable Mighty Dot, let me extract some words from what Honorable Amobi just said. It was the start of the sacrifice. That was the confluence point. And we are remembering. And now we talk about the restoration of that starting point. What does the restoration connect with the Memorial Day? For those that are confused, we did the Declaration of Biafra and we celebrated the restoration, or we celebrated the memorial. How does the two of them come together so that those that are confused will now understand where they should be? Honorable Martin, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, my information minister, and thank you, my brother, for that answer that you gave. There is a correlation between the Memorial Day celebration, which is on the 30th of May every year, and the restoration. So, I, as a person, when it comes to the every 30th of May, which is also my only son's birthday, is 30th of May. When it comes to that day every year, I'm always in a very sad mood. I don't know what some people, they celebrate, they drink, they dance, they do all kinds of things. And to me, these are people who don't actually understand the meaning and the significance of 30th of May. As long as we have not restored Biafra, 30th of May will continue to be a day of pain in my heart. The restoration of Biafra will now give 30th of May a very good meaning and a very good value. Because when we
H.res.1321 calling for U.S. intervention on the case of NNAMDI KANU.
is driving this, the force driving these people. What is their motivation? And as a Christian, what is your motivation for survival?
I would love to be having
What they do, just like they're doing in the territory called Nigeria.
It's very concise. Honorable Mighty Dot, let me extract some words from what Honorable Amobi just said. It was the start of the sacrifice. That was the confluence point. And we are remembering. And now we talk about the restoration of that starting point. What does the restoration connect with the Memorial Day? for those that are confused, we did the Declaration of Biafra, and we celebrated the restoration, or we celebrated the memorial. How does the two of them come together so that those that are confused will now understand where they should be? Honorable Martin, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, my information minister, and thank you, my brother, for that answer that you gave. There is a correlation between the Memorial Day celebration, which is on the 30th of May every year, and the restoration. So, I, as a person, when it comes to the every 30th of May, which is also my son, my only is 30th of May. When it comes to that day every year, I'm always in a very sad mood. I don't know what some people, they celebrate, they drink, they dance, they do all kinds of things. And to me, these are people who don't actually understand the meaning and the significance of 30th of May. As long as we have not restored Biafra, 30th of May will continue to be a day of pain in my heart. The restoration of Biafra will now give 30th of May a very good meaning and a very good value. Because when we restore Biafra, that 30th of May will now become a day of reminder of where we came from, where we started, what we went through. And that will now give us that sense of belonging. That will give us that sense of patriotism. Every 30th of May will always be a remembrance of patriotism. Why we should hold Biafra to a high esteem, why we should jealously protect Biafra. But until the restoration takes place, the 30th of May will always continue to be a remembrance of sadness. But the restoration of Biafra will give it a remembrance in a different way, in a different kind, and value as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The restoration will erase the pain when we restore Biafra. Yes. And we have to fight on to see that we fulfill the cost and the reason for the memorial. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the next question for us to ponder on. Honorable Mighty, in light of what you just explained now, what is your message to Biafrans in South Carolina who are on the fence, who are supposed to fall in line to make those words that you just stated to come to fruition?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I moved to South Carolina from Atlanta, Georgia, 3.5 years ago for career because of work. And to my understanding, when I moved here, I came to understand that there's a lot of Biafrans here in different parts of South Carolina. I attended a birthday of a former member who was here. He lived here for a very long time, and he's actually the leader of Nigerians in South Carolina. The Nigerian organization, whatever, in South Carolina. So he knows a lot of people, a lot of Biafrans. I tried to talk. He is the one actually that was trying to tell me to talk to Biafrans here. And I was kind of confused. I'm like, you've been in this state for a very long time. You know these people. You're supposed to get in touch with them and be able to bring them to what we are doing. But that's by the way. To every Biafran that is in South Carolina right now, the question is to ask yourself, if you decide to go back home to Biafra land, is Biafra safe for you to go back home to? There are many elderly people here from Biafra who lives in South Carolina who have retired. The question is, are you going to spend the rest of your life and die here in South Carolina? We are Biafrans. We are people that embodies culture and tradition. We don't bury our own outside in a strange land. There is every need for us to restore this homeland. There is every need. Many of us are living in diaspora, lived in South Carolina and different states of the United States for a very long time. Where do you call home? Do you even have a home? Without the restoration of Biafra, we got no home. To every Biafra that might be listening or that will listen to this program later, my message to you is that you have to come and support your freedom. A freedom that will give you a sense of belonging. We've been begging and begging and begging, crying and crying and crying. Now, there is no reason for you to say you're confused. We have a government that is pushing us home, pushing forward this project that we may get home to our ancestral land. And you need to come and queue in and join this government that we may achieve this dream. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mighty Dot. I love your composure and the way you hit the nail on the head. I come back to Honorable Amobi, the Chief of Staff of the Brgie Prime Minister. Honorable Amobi, Nigeria tries to bury Biafra beneath the wall in many ways. But it turns out that Biafra continues to rejuvenate. What is the secret, or how does it happen?
It is very simple. I would say, just like the 30th of May that we all, those who celebrate, celebrate, those who mourn, mourn, right? Our memories have been turned into a movement. The memories of our fallen heroes, they're not just memories anymore. They are now movements that gears towards fulfilling that which they did not fulfill. So no matter what the Nigerian state are terrorists, and terrorists are bound to go after legitimate people. That's what they do, just like they're doing in the territory called Nigeria today. It doesn't matter how much they do it. A just cause will always stand. They say light and darkness, they have nothing in common. Biafra is light and Nigeria is darkness. So no matter how much the darkness tries to suppress the light, just a little pinch of that light will always clear every darkness on the path. So it doesn't matter how much the Nigerian terrorist state try to suppress what we are doing, whether it's in homeland or coming out in diaspora to do whatever they feel they can do, they can't stop it because our memories have been turned into a movement. But even though our memories have been turned into a movement, I just want to take this opportunity to tell our people this. Tears without action is an insult our fallen heroes have made. So we must convert pain into organized work. Now, what is the organized work? The organized work is falling in line with your government, Brgie, government in exile. That is the only way you will move in an organized manner to suppress the plight and the evil plots of your enemies, which is the Nigerian terrorist state. They will never stop fighting us. So, in as much as they will not win us, no matter, it is incumbent on our people to stand up and stop those who are coming after us, coming after our children and the generations that are yet to be born. It doesn't matter how much they try, Mazi Sonny. I am here. I'm not going anywhere. And thank God we're in the United States, land of the free, a country that understands what freedom is all about. So, Nigeria might have their powers in homeland killing people, but killing people is all that they can do. They cannot stop the voice of the people. And VOB is here to shed light on everything that happens in our homeland. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, from your line of submission, they need to key in. It's incumbent on them to make it happen. So, to amplify your statement, how do you explain the terminology, the restoration of Biafra, to connote what you just said, so that those that are still not understanding the terminology will be well harnessed? Honorable COS.
I mean, restoration of Biafra is like restoring life. My brother Mighty Dot said yes, we are all in exile at this point, but we do not have a homeland. But restoration of Biafra gives us sense of belonging, which is what our fallen heroes fought for. They fought for freedom, they fought for dignity, and for future. So restoration of Biafra assures the future of our coming generation. It assures that we have dignity in our homeland. Not like today, when people can't even get jobs. I bet you almost every family in Biafra land have graduates who do not have jobs. And that's because we are not free. What Biafra would guarantee is not just you getting a job or having a good life. Biafra is assuring that you will have life and your children will be able to go to school and come back home to their dad, to their mom. And we should not forget, our fallen heroes were just common people. They were ordinary people, ordinary men and women, farmers, students. They fought because they understand that without dignity, without freedom, they are living for nothing. If you're not free, who are you? What are you? Where we live today, we're able to speak freely because of freedom. That is what Biafra will assure. So freedom is as important as life itself. Thank you so much, Mazi.
Thank you. It's good to have this wonderful gentlemen in the studio today, because they've expanded my thinking far beyond my own small box. And I would love to be having intelligent men and women like this in Voice of Biafra often and often. I appreciate you guys. A rhetorical question for the two of you. How long have you two been fighting for Biafra independence?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna go first, Mighty Dot. To be
Okay.
honest, we've all been fighting all our lives, right? But being actively involved, I'll tell you guys this. After the arrest of or kidnap of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, I left my job.
Honorable,
I was ready.
honorable,
I told
honorable. My question was a rhetorical question. I just need the numbers. I just need the numbers. Then I will give time for you to go to explain the numbers. How long have you two been fighting for Biafra independence?
Okay. all my life, but actively since the kidnap of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Since of
All right.
MAZI
Thank you
NNAMDI
so
KANU,
much.
I got fully involved with all my time.
Thank you so much. Honorable Mighty Dot, same question to you, sir.
Yes, like my brother said, I mean, a true Biafran, any true Biafran has been fighting all his or her life, right from the time we entered this earthly realm. But like you said, after the kidnap of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, I think 2016, which was when I joined.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you. Thank you. So that brings me to the next question. Since you guys joined, and since when Biafra independence movement have been on, and counting from when you guys joined, what has been the difference? Honorable Mighty Dot, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you. What has been the difference since we joined? When we joined, we were still at IPOB, a group, a pressure group. We're doing, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, our leader, was, he woke us up. He did a tremendous job in waking us up from our foolishness, should I say that? Because, to be honest with you, we have really, really been foolish in the sense that what we have gone through, no nation on this planet Earth will go through what we have gone through, and we just, like a Kool-Aid, we just every day we wake up gallivanting as if everything is fine. Anyway, so what the changes right now is that we have a government, something that we have never attained since the inception of Biafra project. We have never had a government that is rubbing shoulders, a government that is representing the people of Biafra at the Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., the seat of power of the United States, of the world. That is a tremendous and a great achievement that we have made, and we have come so far to be where we are today. We are no longer a group. We are no longer on the street with flags and T-shirts getting shot and killed by the terrorist Nigerian government. Now we're on a diplomatic mission. At the same time, we have our military that is protecting the homeland. So there is a huge difference. Now we are sophisticated. Now we are well represented as a government of the people of Biafra. So there's a big difference. And that is what everybody should see. Thank you.
I give that to you. There is a big difference. Thank you so much. Honorable COS to the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic of Nigeria. What has been the difference? Now, take yourself out of the context. Let's assume you are seated on the fence, and then you're watching the very government that Honorable Mighty Dot just depicted in his explanation. What do you see as the difference compared to the previous years when they never had such structures?
Yes, first of all, I have to thank God that I'm not blind, so I can see clearly. The difference is very clear. When you have men and selfless in service, people have to understand fighting for freedom and being in a government requires service. So that's what the Nigerian state lacks, right? The Nigerian politicians are not there for service. But here, what I see is a government, a young government that has men and women who are dedicated to serving their people. Now, when people are dedicated to serving their people, you see results from our prime minister, from our lobbyist, from our lawyer, from the cabinet of the government, including yourself, Mazi Sonny, down to the admins and everyone. You see the service, the time they put in. Every time they are called, they are there, speaking, standing on one singular point. That point is the restoration of Biafra. The difference is clear. As an organization, you have limitations, but as a government, there is no limitation. Government, like they say, interact with government. And that's the big difference that you can see today. For those who are still sitting on the fence, it's just time that you're taking. This is no longer an organization. This is not the meeting of your omonna. This is a government, and a government communicates with government. And that you cannot beat. Thank you so much, Mazi.
Oh, that is very brilliant to hear. And I appreciate you guys for your services because it can only get better. And I want to give it to you guys that Ambassador Tibonage, U.S. Ambassador, and Dr. Michael Rubin was here on the show, and they admonish the works of BRGI, the diplomatic trend, the political engagement, and the way and manners, the seriousness has really been seen in Washington, D.C. That made Nigerian government to fume. And that brings me to the next question. Nigerian government are going after your very prime minister today, Honorable Okechukwu. The first question is, why? Address only the question, why? Because I have follow-up questions to thick end. Honorable Mighty Dot, why is Nigerian government, let me describe them the way they are. Nigerian terrorist government, because it is a government that pays terrorists, recruit them back into their military formations. So why is Nigerian terrorist government going after your very prime minister, Okechukwu, who is in America?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. It's quite obvious. They are going after him because he is how do I put it? There is a kind of a surgical precision that is kind of operating on these people right now, on that contraption. Nigeria is being dismantled piece by piece in Washington, D.C. by our Prime Minister. MAZI NNAMDI, they went for him. They went for our former Prime Minister, MAZI Samonepa. And now they are going after our current Prime Minister. And the reason why they are going after him, because he is dismantling Nigeria piece by piece with the people of Biafra in the Biafran government, in exile, and de facto government that is behind him. That is the only reason why they are going after him. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that vivid answer, because it is dismantling the contraption. That sounds good. Because it's only when you are trying to dismantle the foundation that is not working that has become a contraption and it has destroyed many people's lives. That some people will be, why must you destroy this thing that we are using to benefit from the blood of these babies, women, and children? So, Honorable COS, this is your Prime Minister because you're the Chief of Staff. Are you worried when your Prime Minister is being haunted by Nigerian terrorist government?
I mean, if he lived in Finland, I would be worried, but he doesn't. He lives here in the United States. So I'm not worried one bit. There is one thing I know about the United States. They take their time, yes, to respond to terrorists like Nigerian states, right? And you asked why they are going after him. They want to be able to conceal the truth of the genocide that has been exposed by our prime minister. long before now, nobody talks about the genocide that is going on in Nigeria. It didn't start today. It didn't start last year. It didn't start 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But because he stepped into Washington and with his knowledge, interacting and educating people to the best of his ability, Nigeria. So I am not worried one bit. The United States is waiting for Nigeria. They can come up here and if they can, if they can come up here. But I'm not worried one bit.
Wow. The confidence in you seems to be like that of Undertaker. I love it. That means you can guide and protect your principal in any situation, even when American government are waiting to do their work. I appreciate you guys. As you just said about Nigeria trying to conceal the genocide of the babies, women, and children that is happening on a daily basis. How does it feel for you two to be in the corridors of discussion of Biafra independence in Washington, D.C.? Because Biafrans have seen photos of you two accompanying the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile in most of his diplomatic and DC. Honorable COS, you go first.
Yeah, I just feel blessed that at this point when we are restoring Biafra, in this very generation, that I am opportune to lend my voice and see that our people are free. So I feel blessed, I feel privileged that I am part of those who are actually making the steps that is going to bring this evil entity called Nigeria to an end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honorable Mighty Dogs, the stage is yours now. How does it feel to find yourself amongst the men and women that are making it happen alongside with the Prime Minister for Biafra to be free?
Yes, I find myself privileged because there are many out there. Biafrans are over 80 million people, and it's only few of us that are here doing this. 0.0001% that are here pushing this project right now, genuinely. So, who am I? Out of 80 million people plus, I found myself among the people who are pushing this forward at this very point in time in our history. So I feel privileged, and that gives me a sense of purpose as a human being on this planet Earth, because that has given me that sense of purpose, that sense of belonging to wake up every day, knowing that I'm waking up for something. I'm still alive, breathing for something worth fighting for. So I have a sense of purpose every day I wake up in the morning. Every day I get up, I have a sense of purpose that I'm here for a reason and there's something that needs to be achieved, something worth fighting for. So that is this opportunity has given me. It has actually done something good for me. And I want to use this opportunity to encourage every Biafra that is out there. There's something that is I call self-analyzation or self-analyzement. Just analyze yourself as a human being. Do personal, do a personal, search. Look at yourself and ask yourself, what is your purpose on this planet Earth? Why are you here? Why are you still alive? You should have a purpose in life. Make Biafra Restoration, Biafra Project your purpose. And I promise you your life will change. So that's what, being among my brothers and sisters in the government of Biafra in exile, fighting for this freedom, that is what has given me a sense of purpose. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry,
It's been
Minister of
wonderful.
Information, just to add to what Mighty Dog just said, you know, that this sense of purpose actually is what wakes me up every morning. There is none of us here that are fighting for Biafra today that when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is to check your phone, see what is going on, what has happened in Biafra. That is that trigger of purpose that you have. Understanding that you're going out there to do something that will benefit what Biafrans are doing in the government and outside of government to make sure that our homeland is secured. That sense of purpose wakes most of us up in the morning. And like Mighty Dot, my brother said, it is very important that people search their hearts. Search yourself, a soul search to understand why you are here on earth. Thank you so much, Mazi.
Thank you so much to my wonderful guests in the studio. We take a short commercial, and when we return, it is Politics Insights on Voice of Biafra Television.
Voice of Biafra TV, the voice of truth, the voice of the people.
There is only one broadcasting network.
Voice of Biafra TV,
The first, the best, and the last.
Voice of Biafra TV,
We lead, we shine, we last. The first.
H.res.1321, calling for you.
Who are pastoring them are deceiving them, because these people are not real.
Wonderful gentlemen who have been gaslighting the studio, dismantling Nigeria into pieces. Welcome back, my guests, as we continue on Politics Insight. Nigeria pays terrorists. They recruit them into their military formations. Honorable Mighty Dot, how do you address a country that recruits terrorists, reintegrate them into their military formations, and put them on monthly salary?
Yeah, thank you, my brother, for that question. Sometimes it baffles me. It baffles me the kind of things that we have seen in that contraption, that British contraption called Nigeria. The kind of things we have seen that took place there, or that is still taking place. It kind of messes you up mentally. And also a country, people come into a country, supposedly they say that they are foreigners. Both the locals and the foreigners, they go to villages, slaughter innocent people, burn their homes, rape the ones they're going to rape, kidnap the ones they're going to kidnap. At the end of the day, a country that's supposed to eradicate and eliminate terrorists will now say that they are rehabilitating terrorists. They put them in a camp for 3 or 6 months, treating them like royalties. And at the end of the day, they will release them back into the society of the people that they have killed their loved ones. That is like mocking or spitting on the faces of these victims. And every day, people wake up, people that call themselves lecturers, professors, doctors, graduates, people that goes on television, people that you see them in different. In fact, the worst part of it is that there are some people that live in America here they don't see anything wrong with it. They call themselves Nigeria, proud Nigeria. But the country where you come from is rehabilitating those who are killing you, killing your loved ones in their villages, paying them money. I don't even want to speak for the police or the military in Nigeria because those are useless as well. They are not getting paid. Half of what these terrorists are getting paid. They are not even being treated the way terrorists are being treated. Yet, they still join forces with the oppressors and the terrorists and still be killing and maltreating the citizens. So a conglomeration of I don't know what to call it. Nigeria is a mixture of joke, comedy, horror. So when you talk about movie, you have drama, you have horror movies, you have comedy movie. Nigeria is a combination of all. So calling Nigeria a country is an insult to other countries. Calling Nigeria a nation is a real country. Nigeria is not a country. They created it for a reason. It was an experiment for British and their friends. This abomination they created in Africa, they know exactly what they did and is serving the purpose even up to this day. So Nigeria is not a country. Anybody in the world today that might hear our voice this evening, do not see Nigeria as a country. If you see anybody that identify himself as a Nigerian or herself as a Nigerian, I want you to look at that person as less than a human being. Because these people have seen what is happening in that contraption and they all kept quiet and allow it to. So Nigeria is not a country. A country that rehabilitates terrorists, a country that recruit terrorists into their military apparatus. That is not a country. I don't even know what to classify it as, but it's not a country that anybody should be proud of. And that is the reason why any right-thinking human being, as a Biafran, you need to wake up and fight for your freedom, where you can have a sense of belonging. A country that will give you that sense of belonging. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mighty Dot. Honorable COS, I come to you with the same question. What do you describe? First of all, the two of you are in America, and you are in the country where they are fighting the biggest war. And wherever there is a war, they tend to be the peacemaker and make the peace and have a concrete resolution. President Trump, which is your president in America, has the records of saving or resolving or ending about 8 wars within how many months in office. And he did not look back from the terrorist that sponsors the terrorists in Nigeria. And then that is where the radar is now, in Iran. And looking at Nigeria, and then looking at your very country, America, is your country recruiting the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda and the Iranian Islamic terrorist regime that slaughtered their babies, women, and children in the street while they were protesting? Is America recruiting those terrorists into American military formations?
To be honest, associating America in such a discourse about recruiting of terrorists would be an insult to my lovely country, America. I would say this, right? There is a reason why there are.
I apologize. I apologize. I apologize because
Thank
that
you very
is
much.
the biggest country of the free world. So I apologize.
Thank you so much. There is a reason why we have prisons. It's correctional centers, it's correctional facilities. It's where you put people who have done things that shouldn't be done. But in Nigeria, there is nothing like prison. People who commit all sort of crimes that are on the streets walking around. The reason is very simple. The people who are supposed to prosecute them are committing the same crime. Now you talk about recruiting terrorists into security apparatus of a country. I'm going to go straight to what bothers me the most. I think that the recruiting of terrorists into Nigerian military is a big conspiracy by the European Union because they are clearly funding Nigerian government to continue recruiting terrorists. They made it very clear in the last 700 or something million pounds that they gave them. Part of that money is supposed to go into the rehabilitation of terrorists. But in the same Europe, they are sending Africans home for not having a proper document. These are people who are running away from the havoc that you helped to create in their land. They send them back to their country for disobeying the law. But in Nigeria, they encourage them to recruit terrorists into their military structures. Now, I don't really have a problem with Nigeria recruiting terrorists into their security apparatus simply because Nigeria is a business. And the owner of any company has a right to choose who they employ and who they don't. They have chosen to employ the killers of the indigenous people. So the big question for me is, when will enough be enough for the indigenous people who live in Nigeria? When will they stand up and say enough is enough? The same terrorists who killed your mothers, your fathers, because you're not in your homeland when it happened, are recruited into the military to secure you when you get back, and you don't see anything wrong with it. Nigeria recruiting terrorists is their right. The company has a choice to employ whoever they choose to employ, and they have chosen to employ terrorists into their security apparatus, and nothing anybody will do about it. There is simply nothing anybody can do about it. The only thing that can be done is the dissolution of Nigeria to save life. You know, we always say dissolve Nigeria to save life, but it cannot be dissolved without you. The dissolution of Nigeria starts with you and I. I am doing my part. So what are you doing?
The dissolution of Nigeria starts with us. Nigeria cannot be disintegrated or dissolved without your contribution and without my contribution. That is what our COS, MAZI, Amobi, NE, said. And it's very true. Nigeria can only be dissolved if each and every one of us accept the dissolution. The reason why Nigeria is still very much running their criminal enterprise up to this moment is because why the Biafran people have decided to exit Nigeria and for Nigerian dissolution, the Yorubas and the Fulanis who are benefiting from Nigeria are skeptical. They are still thinking, oh, Nigeria should continue or Nigeria should not continue. So the bottom line is that Nigeria should be disintegrated for everybody to be free. And that dissolution has to stand with you and with me. And that is why we are calling on Biafrans all over the world to support the Biafran Republic government in exile, who is at the forefront of the dissolution of Nigeria, so that Nigeria can be dissolved and a lot of lives will be saved. This is very important for everybody to understand. I want to draw the curtain here tonight. Tomorrow we have to continue again because we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to showcase to the Biafran people on the need for each and every one of us to support Brgie government. Very, very, very important. Biafra Republic government in exile is the only pathway to Biafran restoration and Biafran freedom. Our Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Brgie, is doing exceptionally well in Washington, D.C. to that effect. Our lobbyist, MAZI Elias Diarasoris, is also actively involved, according to his promise to the Biafran people that he will be our voice in Washington, D.C., and he's living up to the expectation. The ball now lies on the court of the Biafran people to continue to support their freedom, to continue to support their restoration, financially and otherwise. Very, very important. So Biafrans in diaspora in the homeland, the time to dissolve Nigeria is now, and everybody is expected to participate in this cause for our freedom. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate everybody who joined me tonight on the questionnaire Mazi David in Nana platform. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, try as much as possible to do so. And God, Chukwu Okike Abiama, will bless you as well. So that whenever I come live, you are going to get notification from me. I also use this medium to appeal to Biafrans. I want to change. This laptop is problematic. It's giving me some issues. This is Windows 7. It's not giving me the things that I need, the capacity that I need, the turnout of videos that I want. This laptop is outdated, it's old. Please, I want somebody to replace it for me. I want somebody to help me to buy a new one. I've already made a cost, 600 AJ or $600. You can buy it and send to me so that I can improve on my broadcasting. Very, very important. And ndị nchie ga-agọzi unu. Okay, thank you so much. Good night from here. Ndewo ụmụ Chineke, continue to support your freedom. Freedom of Biafra is here. Everybody must put hands together to destroy that evil entity that continue to take the lives of innocent Biafrans and Nigerians as well. Ndewo ụmụ Chineke, and goodbye from here.